Hello and welcome to the I Must Ask You a Question show. As you can see, I'm by myself today. My co-host, Jim Bardwell, he couldn't make it and so didn't have enough time to find a guest host. So I'm going to answer your questions today about relationship marketing. And today we're going to talk about turning prospecting on its head. Now, how many of you have struggled finding new relationships in this socially distant paradigm we're in? You know, it can be kind of daunting, especially if you were used to in-person events where you would go and pass out your business cards. It might be at a happy hour event at a sushi bar, or it might be at a Chamber of Commerce networking event or something like that. And so now it's become such a challenge. And I know within our 3 million% program that several of our business owners and entrepreneurs and professionals are seeking those opportunities. But in the virtual world, it's just a little bit more difficult, right? So even if you go to a virtual networking meeting, the ability to just exchange information is hindered by maybe the chat box, maybe the host. You know, if the host isn't saving the chat box so that everybody put down their information in, it could get real interesting real fast, right? So I'm going to give you some ways that we can turn prospecting on its head. Okay. So also for listeners, I want you to ask questions in the comments. If you can share ideas, let us know you're listening in the comment section, and I can definitely recognize that you're here. Okay. So let's get going on this. So I will add some ideas for you here. Okay. So I've got my Facebook pulled up, and what I want to do is get to groups. And so if you were to go look at groups, what I'm talking about is you've got lists of people running out of your ears. Okay. If you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, you've got plenty of groups. And so I'm going to go to a group within the 3 million% program. If I can find it here, I might have already passed it. See more. There it is. Okay, so we have this Experience 3 million% group, and it has about 294 members, right? So a lot of those have been in our program before. Some of them are past members. Some of them are just checking it out. And that's 294 relationships that we could have that we might not even be paying attention to. Okay, so if we were to go in and try to schedule appointments or schedule one-on-ones with them, take 15 to 30 minutes to learn how to help each other grow, bam, that's a new relationship that we have that we might not have had before, right? So pay attention to your Facebook groups and see who is in those, see if they are potential prospects for you or potential referral generators for you. And so it's important to start looking at social media a little bit differently. Instead of so much of a distribution channel, you have to look at it almost as this filter of contacts, right? It is one of the greatest contact lists out there, and you can go and find the people that you need. The same way for LinkedIn. We'll talk about that here in a second. So you've got all these members. Now, if you were to start interacting with them in those groups, you could start building those relationships with those people. Neat thing happened to me last week. Our show aired in a group that I share it in, and someone liked the show. They didn't comment. I had never met them. I didn't know them from anyone, right? All they did was like the share of the show. And so I reached out to that person and said, hey, thank you for liking the show. I know that we've never met. I'd love to take 10 or 15 minutes to learn how we can help one another grow. And here they are. They're a potential member of the program. So it's one of those things. You have to go and search out those who are interacting with anything that you're doing. That could be groups, that could be posts, that could be anything, pages, right? Anyone interacting with your Facebook page for your business. So I went back and looked at who all the followers were on my Facebook page as well. I had no idea who some of those people were. And I was like, wow, where did they come from and how do I know them? How do they even know about my Facebook page? And so I just started going through one by one, sending them messenger messages, asking for 15 to 20 minutes to learn how to help each other grow, right? And some have responded, some have not. But that is prospecting that I'm doing that really wasn't even on the radar before. It just kind of hit me one day that they're already interacting with my post and they're already in groups that I'm in. We already have common interest. We already have someone or something in common. And that was a fantastic way to get in there and get to know them better. Again, feel free to comment with questions and let us know you're here as well. Okay, so let's move on from this and go to LinkedIn. Now, in LinkedIn, we have several different options as well. We do have all your connection lists. So let's just take a look at even my profile page here. It says, trying to see it, 500 and plus connections. Maybe it was on another page. Oh, it was on my network page. So it says I've got 1,270 connections. I don't think I know all of those people that are on LinkedIn as my 1,270 connections. What a terrific opportunity to go back through your connections and just go schedule appointments with them. Learn how to help each other grow. It doesn't have to be you trying to sell them something. It's you trying to build a relationship with them, and maybe they could become a referral generator for you, or if nothing else, maybe you can do that for them, and distantly down the road, they may hear of a way to help you out and think of you. Okay. So, and I don't even know where where all the contacts come from. Maybe I don't know from where it's pulling that, but I do know about the connections. Now, another thing I thought about are the hashtags. So if we were to go down here to the hashtags and see all the hashtags that I'm following, these are common interests. These are common interests that I share with each hashtag that's represented. And so from that, we can find the people with common interest, and we could find the companies with common interest. So we could go and we could either follow more hashtags with things that we're interested in, or go back and pull up some of these that we find interesting. So if my market is small business owners and I click on that, we have a whole hashtag that follows everything having to do with that. So we could go through and start creating interactions with those that follow the same topic. And if we're following that same topic and creating those interactions, that will help take down defensive walls. So I get a lot of connection requests and then an immediate message following that saying, hey, can we get together so I can try to sell you something? That's pretty much how the message goes. And there was no relationship built or anything like that. And that really is a huge turnoff for anyone on any platform. No one likes to feel sold to. Everybody wants to buy, but no one wants to feel sold to, right? We all want relationships. And if we can, I like what Zig Ziglar says, you can have everything you want in life if you'll help enough other people get what they want. So if we're actively trying to help others grow their business or get what they need, then they're going to naturally like us a little bit better. The faster we can help them do that, the faster we grow. So that's what we like to do. See a comment over here. Oh, glad to see you, Joanne. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the show. Feel free to ask questions or make comments here. As we move forward, let's go back and see what other hashtags there were, if it'll let me do that. Let's see. Oh, here we are on the on the hashtags here. So we did small business owners, but what if we're looking for entrepreneurs? Let's just go see what that has. So following entrepreneurs, there are 432,721 followers. If you're out there buying contact lists, then you're wasting money. You have a ton of contact lists here on social media through Facebook and through LinkedIn, probably through Twitter and other things that you're on. I don't do much on Twitter, but you've got this wealth of connection, these relationship opportunities that you can jump into. And all you have to do is engage with their post and then send them messages and let them know you want to build that relationship with them. This does not have to be one-sided, okay? So that's how I would approach that on LinkedIn. Another thing is following company pages. Let's see here. There's also group opportunities as well. So like just look at the group opportunities. So I've got an Experienced 3% group there, but there's also like this Texas A&M Entrepreneur Group. It says it has 1,363 members. Well, I went to Texas A&M. They went to Texas A&M. I'm an entrepreneur. They're an entrepreneur. We have two things in common that we could talk about. We could build a relationship over that, right? So you have to look for those opportunities, and that can somewhat be a filter, but also it's a very good resource for you for making new connections. Okay, and another place that you might want to look is directories. Okay, if you're involved in events or in programs such as association or service or social organizations like Rotary or Kiwanis or Lions Club or something like that, they will have directories of members. And also, if you're in other like nonprofit organizations in your community, they will have directories of members. Now, even better is those that have the common goal of growing their business in a local community is in the Chamber of Commerce. And you can find a directory of businesses in there. So I went to the Rockwall, Texas Chamber of Commerce, where I am, and I looked up in the business directory search. It breaks it down by industry, and then by industry, it breaks it down even further than that. So if I were to click on, let's say, dental or healthcare, and I were to look at, you see all kinds of dentists, and I'm looking for who I already have relationships with, right? And if I don't have a relationship with them, I might go create that relationship. Okay. And so, you've got opportunity after opportunity here where the one thing that all of these people have in common is they want to grow their business. They are in this to grow their business. If you can help them make the connections to grow their business, you have that one thing in common too, and it helps develop you as a referral generator, referral source, but also they're going to be more likely to refer to you. It's the quid pro quo thing. Okay. So that's how you maneuver in finding more contacts. Now, I want to share something else with you that really hit home with me this past weekend. And so in doing this, I would say unleash your personal brand. Okay. I did an experiment. Really, it wasn't even an experiment. It was just something personal that I wanted to share. And I saw something pretty big happen. In fact, I'll just try to get to my personal page if it'll let me. So in my community or in my circles, it seems like that I've had a lot of close friends my age that have been passing away, not from coronavirus, but from cancer and from heart attacks and things that happen every day, but you're not used to them happening to people that you know so well, right? And one thing that kind of struck me out of that is here I was talking to one of these friends. He's a new friend that has cancer, and he hasn't been given very long to live. And he's a new friend because we're just newly connected on Facebook. So he started posting pictures of his paintings, and he does keep to himself, especially due to coronavirus. He's inside all the time. He doesn't get to get outside and interact. And so what he did was he's been posting paintings that he's doing. He paints all day long and just posts those to Facebook. I don't think he's trying to sell them. I think he's just trying to cope, right? And he wants people to know who he is before anything happens with him, right? And so that kind of hit me. If something were to happen to me, if I were to die, what do people know about me? And I started thinking just some inconsequential things that probably wouldn't matter to most people. I mean, I've done artwork. This guy and we got to talking about artwork. I complimented on his painting in a Facebook Messenger message. And we got to talking back and forth. And he said, well, may I see some of your work? And so that's when it really hit me that, you know what, he wants to see some of my work, but I don't know that many people have seen my work. I mean, even as a college student at Texas A&M, part of my student worker job was to illustrate textbooks for higher education, Texas Engineering Extension Service, things like that. And I just thought, who knows that stuff? Who knows the things that I've even drawn that I'm proud of? And I didn't ever post those. I didn't ever share them because I wasn't looking for approval. Right. But I decided after talking to this guy, this is something that, especially in this day and time, I want to open this avenue of vulnerability for myself. Right. So I posted about 16 of my pen and ink drawings, my paintings, some wall sculptures that I've done. And of course, there was a lot of others that are in people's homes now and things like that I couldn't post. But this is just what I had access to right now. So I made a post about that. And within 48 hours, it really made an impact. So I actually did a training call with my 3 million% members this morning about this, but I thought the numbers were so fascinating and I wanted to include them on this call. That way you could get an idea for what it is to unlock your personal brand. Most people think that people only want to know what their business is, what the business credibility is, and what they have to offer. But what we're seeing now is your business, the company you work for, may not exist in several months. And you might have to go out and find something new. But if people don't know who you are and you don't have a presence in the public eye and social media, people just want to know you, like you, and trust you. And if they can't do that, then they're just looking at a resume. Or if you're a business owner, they're just looking at possibly what you've done in the past. But if they don't have that relationship with you, there's a disconnect. So I wanted to give you the results of me making that post. What happened? So within 48 hours, it had 217 likes. It had 162 comments. Now, you just saw how hard it was for me to go, and I say hard, I was just going through and showing you where to find new contacts. And I had like 1,200 or something like that on LinkedIn, I think it was. But I was going to have to start over and create a reasonable basis to talk to those people. By me making that post, I had people all the way back from my childhood making comments. I'm 46 years old. it's been a long time since I've been a freshman in high school, but my high school English teacher reached out to me in the comments and said, "Hey, I love your work. Are you still writing?" And yeah, I'm an author and speaker and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm still writing, but that's a long time ago. And this is the first time I've talked to her since I was in high school. And so you get to looking at the I'm going to say the renewed connections there. So 162 comments, that's 162 conversations that have just been restarted. Okay. I could go back now and I could send them messages. I can do things like that. And we even with one share, but out of that, I got one appointment and 20 to 30 lifetime reconnections. 162 conversations. I mean, gosh, talk about what you do. I just want to show you the post here. If I can find it, here it is. So if it'll let me do it on here. So I just posted some drawings and stuff like that. I mean, these are some I did about 10 years ago, possibly, maybe longer. But the thing was, each one of them had all their own likes and comments and things like that. But it really struck people, as to they didn't know this about me. All they know is 3,000,000%. They know relationship marketing. They know that I am a business owner, and that's my granddad that I got to draw from a picture, and he got to see it, and so here's some of the textbooks that I used to illustrate there, some of the drawings from that. So that kind of stuff there, that meant something to me, but the vulnerability of it, was the big thing there. And, so that really hit home with people. And I think that made them want to know me more. And so it really restarted a lot for me. So I just encourage you to go out and think about what you're passionate about. Think about what you're already doing. Think about your hobbies. Thinking about even your nonprofits that you're in. You could post things about that. If you're an adventurer, an explorer, go out and post your trips. Post about your photos. Post about funny camping stories. If you're a beekeeper, share it with us. Do Facebook Lives or something like that. People want to know you, like you, and trust you. And it really turns prospecting on its head, where they come to you. They start wanting to have these conversations with you, and you're not having to go out and actively search them out through a directory, through a Facebook list, or through a hashtag. Right now, there's those that we don't have any knowledge about where they are, what they are. I mean, there's a ton of people that probably want to do business with us that we don't even know where they are, but we can actually seek those people out, and we can actually turn that on its head and make them come to us and talk to us about whatever it is that we have that interest in common. So they'll know us, like us, and trust us much faster than if we were to just go out and try to schedule an appointment with them. Okay. So take advantage to rekindle relationships and conversations. Share your story. All right. What questions do we have? Questions or comments? I'm happy to go through that with you. I know that I've covered a lot of ground in a short period of time, and without someone to interact with me on that, it goes pretty fast. So if you have questions, let's just keep the conversation going in the chat or in the comments, and feel free to, again, make comment or ask those questions even after the show isn't airing anymore. But we are so glad that you joined us. And I'm glad for the opportunity to get to share with you these tips, tactics, and techniques that we use in relationship marketing and how to grow your business faster. I look forward to seeing you next Monday at 2:00, and hopefully Jim Bardwell will be back with us. But again, if you have questions, reach out to us, and our information is in the comments to connect with us. All right. We will see you again soon. Have a good day.